All right, hello once again. Jeff Scott, formerly of Rankin Technical College, and as hopefully you know by now, is part of my YouTube channel, JPS-Jeff Teaches Programming, and in particular, the one and only YouTube playlist for that channel currently, Jeff Teaches Programming-Python. I've come in and created upwards of 40 videos now to try to get people to learn the Python programming language. In the last video that I had, I've been working on a bank application, and what I did was I went in and I brought in a bank account class, a savings account class, a checking account class, and a country, or a Christmas club, I should say. And I went over it and I ran it. It runs just fine, but I'd like to take a couple minutes to go over everything that's in it. So I don't want to read to you. Again, it's a banking program. It has 4 classes. The bank account class is the super class, and it's also an abstract class. Checking account, savings account, and Christmas club, they're all children of bank account, or subclasses of the bank account superclass. They all have a different minimum balance. $100 for checking, $25 for savings, and $10 for Christmas club. You should be able to do the stuff that's shown here. All right, check balance, deposit money, withdraw money, transfer money, and open a new account. Now, I kept it really simple in here. What do I mean? Well, if we come down into the actual code, notice I brought in here, I imported the 3 child accounts in here. So checking account, savings account, and Christmas club account. Then I instantiated 3 different savings accounts, 3 different checking accounts, and 3 different Christmas club accounts. You'll note they all have different names. They all have different amounts of money in them, etc. All right. Then after doing that, I did examples as it says here of these. So in the first checking account example, I asked for the balance. Well, if we look in here, that should have said $1,000. All right. And then we deposited $1,400, which gives us $2,400. Then we removed $800. So $2,400 minus $800. And if we run the thing again, it should say $1,600. And if you look at the first example, there it is. All right. Then we had another example of a checking account. This was checking account 3. And checking account 3 had in it $10,000. All right. So it should have said 10,000. Then we added $789, which should have given us $10,789. Then when we removed 1,000 and ran the balance again, it should say $97.89 if we did it right. And you'll notice there it is. Now, we could have come in and run the account balance after we put in the $789. And it would have said $10,789. We could do that if we wanted to. And just to show you that and to prove that to you. All right. So we've got the balance. Let's just put it into each one of these. All right. So there it is. We'll do it again here. Now this is going to have to be 3. All right. And let's save it and run it again. Okay, so now when you look at it, you'll notice 10 or 1,000, deposited 1,400, so we've got 2,400. Subtract 800, now we've got 1,600. Had 10,000, added 789 to give us 10,789, withdrew 1,000, which gives us 9,789. All right, and we can do similar things, I mean, for the savings account, etc. All right, so the savings account has got 2 different examples in it. So let's see. Whoop, somehow I screwed that up. So let's make that a 3. Okay, that's fine. Let's go back to here. So we're doing that, and we're going to do it again here. But of course, this will have to be savings 3. All right, not 32, 3. All right, so savings 2 had in it $5,555, and savings 3 had $87.65. So with $55.55, if we add $100 to it, it should be $56.55. And if we remove 300, it should be $53.35. Let's run it again. So we'll save and run it. There it is, $56.55 and $53.55. Then let's look at the next one, which is savings account 3. And again, 3 had in it $87.65. All right, so $87.65, if we add $7.89 to it, $87.69 plus, hopefully I put the right number in there, $7.89. That should give us there, oh, try that again. $8765 plus 789 equals. Why is it giving me that amount there? Let's try it again. Let's clear everything. So 8765 plus, got the plus sign there, 789 9554. That looks a little better. And then if we withdraw, so if we subtract 1,000 from it, it should be 8554. Let's see if that's the case. And $8765. Oh, we put 1987 into it, not 987. So let's try that again. All right, I'll leave that up here. So let's clear this. And we had 8765. And then we added or put into that 1987. And that should give us 10,752, as it does. And then if we withdraw from there 3,300, we should get 7,452, which we do. Finally, we've got the Christmas Club. All right, that's our last 2 in here. Now, why it's giving us that all that many times, I don't have any idea. I don't really care. All right, so we got Christmas Club 1 and Christmas Club 2. Christmas Club 1 has got in it 5,600, and Christmas Club 2 has got in it 9,800. So 5,600 and 9,800. Let's go back down to the bottom here. And again, let's, after we deposit, let's check the balance. And after we deposit, let's check the balance. All right. So again, one more time, 5,600 and 9,800. So we'll save. We'll run it. 5,600 and 9,800. 5,600. We deposit 1,000, so 6,600. We subtract 2,000, 4,600. Second one, 9,800. We deposit $100 into it, so it's 9,900. We remove 5,000 from it, so it's 4,900. Everything in there appears to be working. So again, I have not checked in here to try to create an account in which we don't have the minimum deposit or the minimum initial balance. I have not tried to remove anything where we came in. So for instance, in here, when we do this one, let's just to show you here. All right. So here, let's try to withdraw $50,000. All right, which we don't have that much in there. So let's run this and see what we get at the end. Withdrawal amount failed would leave less than the minimum balance. So it is still $9,900. So that appears to be working. And I could run similar things. All right, I could run similar things for all of these. All right, let's go to this first checking account in here. And let's just put in $1. All right, and it's giving me an error. It says value error. Minimum balance is $100. All right, so you can see as we go in, it appears, at least appears as though all of our checks that are in here are working. All right. So let me do a file save all. Let me run it again and make sure it runs okay. Oh, there we go. So we'll run it one more time. And again, you can see everything looks pretty good. So that is main. So let's look at bank account. All right. So here's bank account. Now I put in here a URL, as you can see. This is from the actual Python documentation because it says here from ABC, import ABC abstract method. What the heck is all that? Well, if we go out to that, notice what it says. ABC stands for abstract base classes. It says this module provides the infrastructure for defining abstract base classes in Python, also known as ABCs. All right. So this is very similar to what I did. As it says there, a helper class with this class, an abstract base class can be created by simply deriving from ABC and putting paths in there. You want a little more, you can go read this, I guess, yourselves, you know. All right, so we've got that. And this is a bank account. Again, this is the equivalent of a constructor. So in other words, we're about to go in and create a savings account, a checking account, and a Christmas Club account. All of them will be children of a bank account. So we're going to put super on all those and tell the parent, which is bank account, you handle the account holder, you handle the balance. All right, that's literally what we're doing right there. Now we've defined 3 abstract methods in here. All right, check balance. Why are these abstract? Because they're all handled differently, especially the check. Well, really, they all are working with a different minimum balance. All right, so especially with the withdrawal, it's going to be different in all 3. Again, I didn't do the transfer. All right. So it should be the amount and the target account. So I should be able to transfer an amount into a different account. So in other words, and I didn't try this, so this may not work, but if I come in here and I say Christmas Club 2 dot transfer, let's try transferring $1,000. All right, and where do we want to transfer it to? We'll transfer it to checking one. All right, and again, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but when we get done, let's print the balance again, and we're going to see if it's $1,000 less. Plus, we've got in here checking one. So when we did checking one the last time, let's just print it. We'll bring this in too. All right, so before we do the transfer, which is what we're about to do right here, all right, let's go in and let's run the balance on both checking one and Christmas Club 2. Then let's transfer and let's run the balance again. Oops, that's wrong, of course. Okay, hopefully what I just said made at least some sense. All right, so File, Save All. All right, let's run this. See if it works. I didn't get any errors, which is always a good start. So let's go down to the bottom here. So, transferred $1,000, all right, into checking account at, well, that doesn't look good. We'll have to look at that, but that's okay. And it says the checking account balance for Mary Smith, all right, which was $4,900, and we withdrew, oh, something's goofed up here, let's see. Russ Jones, checking account for Mary Smith was $1,600. So her checking is now $2,600. So we deposited $1,000 into that. Russ Jones had $4,900, now has $3,900. So that does work. All right. So let's work on this where it says transferred it to. Let's take a look at that. That would be in here. Into target account. Now, I don't know if it has to be. We're going to look. Self.target account. All right, so we're going to try that. So File, Save All. I'm going to keep the old one in there, and I'm going to run this again. And again, we're going to go down to the very bottom. Whoops, we're going to have to run the right one, though. Have to run the main. So let's run the main. And there it is. Oh, doesn't like it. It says has no attribute target account. Well, what does that mean? It means I did it wrong. How's that? So let's look again. See, target account, what it has right there, what I believe at least it's giving us is we have not rewritten the STR method. So what it's doing is it's giving us the address of where this thing lives. So where we had in here, that's going to have, yeah, it's going to have to be in main. All right. The transfer worked. Okay. Transfer 1,000 into checking, and then print the checking one dot check balance. Well, this is where it's screwed up because the 2 worked. So print checking one dot check balance. Well, that's what we did up here. I didn't like that either. Let's see. Oh, I left that in there. I got to remove that. Self.target account. Doesn't like the self. And I may very well have gotten another error in here. It does look like I did. Checking account has no attribute CA. Well, I thought that would go there. Maybe the CA goes at the beginning, and maybe I'm just got it wrong, period. Whoops, didn't like something I just did there. All right, so again, I might get another error here. If I do, I apologize. Don't want to waste your time watching me goof up here, which is what I'm doing. All right, so checking account has no attribute, and that does make sense. All right, so I'm going to go over here to bank account, where it says to target account. Thought that I had checked this. Evidently, I had not. I did prove to you that it works. All right, but what I didn't prove to you is where I'm sending it. This target account. It worked there. So you did dot target account dot deposit. What do we have in? I don't think there is anything in target account. Yeah, it doesn't like this. And I don't think it'll take, like here, target account. See, it doesn't understand that. I'd have to bring BA into this. I don't think that this is right either, but okay. Again, probably have a different error in here now. I do. Oh, I left that CA in there. Or did I? Yep, I did. All right, my feeling is it's still not going to be correct, but we're going to run it anyway. Bank account has no attribute target account. All right, it does actually in here, in the transfer method it does, but it doesn't understand what target account is. Now, if I just remove this, you know, I get rid of the 2 here, so I'll just put in here and comment the rest out. All right, then if I come back here and get rid of this, all right. Withdrew, transferred $1,000. You can see it works, but I'll have to think about, because I want a message in there that says where it was transferred to. All right. So I've shown you quickly the bank account class. So let's jump into savings account here. I'm importing bank account as BA. Well, savings account is a child of bank account. Savings account has a minimum balance of $25. Again, this here is the equivalent of a constructor. Okay. We're saying right here, what I'm saying first is if the balance is less than the minimum balance, All right, you're just going to raise an error. Okay? Otherwise, we're saying, hey, bank account, you handle the account holder and you handle the balance. And then it'll come back, and here's our check balance. The difference, remember this before was put in as a pass, but it's now savings account balance. This was put in as a pass. If the amount is greater than 0, we deposit it. Otherwise, you can't deposit less than or equal to 0. Withdrawal was put in as a pass. All right? And what we're saying here is if the amount we're attempting to withdraw is positive, but if it would get us below the minimum balance, don't allow it. Otherwise, do the withdrawal and print out your results. If the amount was not greater than 0, hey, you can't withdraw less than or equal to 0. So that is savings account, and checking and Christmas are very similar. So again, what's different? Well, with the same line we had before, this is a checking account. Again, it's a child of bank account. The minimum balance is different. Again, this is the constructor. Again, we check to make sure we have at least the minimum balance in there. Then we tell the parent again that you handle the account holder and the balance. The check now says checking account, whereas the previously it said savings account. Deposit is the same except into checking account. Withdraw is the same except we're checking the checking account minimum balance. Other than that, it's all done the same way. All right. Finally, we've got Christmas Club account. And again, more of the same. We bring our import statement in. Christmas Club, again, is inherited from, or it's a child of bank account. It's got a different minimum balance. We again come in here, and we've got the equivalent of our constructor. We make sure that we have at least a minimum balance, and then we say, hey, parent, bank account, take care of these two. We rewrote the check balance, so it now says Christmas, and that should say the Christmas Club account. Okay. We check the deposit, and the deposit is now into Christmas Club. All right. Withdrawal is now done from Christmas Club. All right. So everything, as far as I can tell now, appears to be working. Let's make sure I didn't break anything. So let's run it one last time. All right. So we have in here our examples. Checking account 1, checking account 3, savings account 2, savings account 3, Christmas Club account 1, Christmas Club account 2. We are able to do the transfer as well. This, why we're getting all this extra stuff, not sure, don't really care. All right. I must be calling something more than once or whatever, but it looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I've got these OOP banks in here. Okay. And this is all part of Python OOP right here. What I have in here is we had first done a couple articles. So I did in Python classes are easy, and there's some examples. I did the OOP from scratch, and there's some examples. Did the OOP in Python part 1, and there's some examples. So those are from those articles. All right. We did the Python payroll OOP, where we went back and redid the list, the dictionary, the tuple, and the set as object-oriented programming examples. Finally, we went in here and we did the OOP, and I've got it called 0-1 no inheritance and 0-2 inheritance. Let's go back in. I don't want that, I'm sorry. Let's bring up Git Bash here. In fact, let's close. Got that open here, so let's do a file, Save, and let's close this. All right. And now we're going to come in here. And I'm going to do a git add dot, a git commit, all Python OOP examples completed. I know, not the greatest thing, but git commit, that's got to be a -m there for the message. All right. So there those are. Let's do the, let's make sure I've got this over in GitHub. Been a while, so github.com. And this was called Python OOP. It does not look like I've got anything called Python OOP. And that's what it should be called, is Python OOP. So I'm going to make it right now. I'm the owner. Python OOP. It's available. It's public. Let's create it. There, we got everything. So let's grab this. Copy that. Bring that in, which just basically is going to provide the origin, so it lets us know who we're talking to. It says remote origin already exists, so git remote -v. Okay, here we've got, it's wrong, we've got Python -oop, and it should be Python OOP, so we're going to run into an error. So I have to find that command that I have in here someplace. See if it's in here. It's not in there. Let's see if it's in there. It's not it. So let's double check here. What do we have? Let's go back to the desktop. We'll find it from right here. Git commands. Keep this. That's what I want. All right. I need to rechange from that URL command. All right, the problem that I have right now is this is called Python OOP, but I saved it as Python OOP. So let's paste. Let's change this. So we want it to basically mirror what we have in here, //github.com/JP Scott Rankin /Python OOP.git. Hopefully I did that correct. All right, so it reset it. So git push -u origin master. See if it works. All right, let's go back up. And we're going to go back up to here, and we're going to refresh. And there are all of our examples. So that now does exist, and it exists right here. Let's make that a lot bigger. Probably can even make it real big. There you go. So if you want the examples that I put in, you want the example code for the object-oriented programs that I put in, there they are. Okay. Now what I'm going to do next, FYI, is we're going to go over files. I'm going to do one or two simple file programs. Then I'm going to try to take this program I'm working on here and grab my input from a file instead of putting it in manually as I did. Then when we get done with that, I'm going to go into databases. And I know that Python has a database set up for SQLite. Got to go back and look at SQLite. It's been a while since I've looked at that, but I'd like to go back and do an SQLite program and then grab that information from a database. All right, so that's the next two things to do. After that, what I hope to be able to do then is to go in, because we haven't done this at all, and that is make a few videos that create Python GUI programs, graphical user interface. Once I get done with all that, then I want to move over to the Django side and start talking about Python with websites. So again, if I do come here, this is the address to my YouTube channel. So let's grab that over here. Oh, whoops, over here and hit enter. That's not what I wanted, of course. Let's close that. We can close that. And I know why this isn't working, but that's okay. So let's just do it this way. So I'll go to youtube.com. I'll put in here JPS. There it is, JPS Jeff Teaches Programming. There it is. All right. And I've got 39 videos. So there's going to be 41 when I get done with this. The previous one I did and then this one. So my guess is by the time I get done with this, I'm going to have somewhere between 50 and 100 videos. All right. Once we get done with that, once I get done with files, databases, and Django. All right. Once we get done with that, I want to move into the concept of data science. All right. We'll talk about that later. But for now, have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.